17 new titles, 9 light novels, 8 manga, all brand new from J Novel Club, just announced tonight. Let's check them out. Hello everybody, Justus R. Stone here, covering the latest news from J Novel Club's live stream, where they just announced 9 light novel licenses and 8 manga licenses, and I'm going to go through all of them. The manga, a lot of them are going to sound familiar because they are actually adaptations of a whack ton of previously announced J Novel Club light novel titles. Let's get to it. So first up, we're going to cover all the light novels. First one we have is The Frontier Lord Begins with 0 Subjects. This is by Furo with illustrations by Quinta. There's currently 10 volumes available in Japan. Dios finally returns home after decades of war. He's hailed as a hero and promptly rewarded with his own domain, which turns out to be little more than empty plains. Population 0. Dios, who has only ever known battle, finds himself at a loss. How is he supposed to survive, let alone cultivate his territory into a thriving, prosperous dominion when there's nothing but grass as far as can be seen? Fortunately for Dios, a horned girl by the name of Alna is about to show him there's more to the plains than meets the eye. And this one, right now, you can head over to J Novel Club's website and check out parts 1 and 2 of volume number 1. Next up, J Novel announced Fake It to Break It. I faked Amnesia to break off my engagement, and now he's all lovey-dovey? This one is written by Kotoko with illustrations by Esora Amaichi. There's 2 volumes and it's actually a complete series. Viola wants nothing more than to break off her dull arranged engagement with Philip. He's the son of a duke, and Viola is thoroughly convinced she's an unsuitable future wife for a man of his station. Worst of all, he seems utterly uninterested in her. So when Viola is in a carriage accident, she takes the opportunity to fake amnesia in hopes of getting out of her betrothal. Little does she know, Philip is also an opportunist, and he takes advantage of the situation by feeding the amnesiac Viola a tale she can scarcely believe, that they've been passionately in love this entire time. Now trapped in her own lie, Viola is forced to play along. Can this curious couple outwit each other into happiness, or will their bizarre web of deception get them both caught? And this is a J Novel Heart title, and again, you can check out parts 1 and 2 of volume number 1 on their website right now. Next up, J Novel announced From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. My Hotshot disciples are all grown up now, and they won't leave me alone. This is by Shigeru Sagasaki with illustrations by Tetsuhiro Nabeshima. There are 6 volumes currently in Japan. Looks like this one's still ongoing. Beryl Gardinant, a self-proclaimed humble old man, is a sword instructor at his dojo in a rural backwater village. In his younger years, he dreamed of glory as a master swordsman, but those days are long behind him. Out of the blue, he receives a visit from a famous former pupil who brings him world-shattering news. He's been appointed as special instructor for the Knights of the Liberian Order. With his life now turned upside down, Beryl travels to the capital and reunites with some of his former students, elite knights, an ace wizard, and even an adventurer who's attained the highest guild rank possible. But why do they all want his tutelage? As far as he's concerned, they clearly don't need him anymore. Can Beryl live up to his new position? And will he ever get a moment's peace away from his adoring students? And this one as well, you can check out parts 1 and 2 over at J Novel Club's website today. Next up, J Novel licensed The Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows. This is by Sakaku Hishikawa with illustrations by Daburyu. Dabiryu. I should have practiced these names before I started. 5 volumes on this one in Japan. It's currently ongoing. Life hasn't been kind to Xenos. He was born in the slums, and his dirt-poor background has denied him almost every opportunity. After an encounter with the healer, he throws himself into studying to become one, and finally catches a break when an adventurer invites Xenos into his party. Xenos is thrilled, so thrilled, in fact, that he's willing to put up with his teammates treating him like garbage. They fail to appreciate his talents and ultimately kick him to the curb, claiming he's outlived his usefulness to them. Now bereft of money and out of options, Xenos decides to put his self-taught skills to use elsewhere and opens an underground clinic. Word quickly spreads about the brilliant healer working incredible magic in the city's shadowy underbelly. Even the royal palace is taking notice. Can Xenos buck the odds and carve out a life for himself in a world that's done nothing but spit in his face? And can he save the lives of the patients who wind up on his doorstep in the process? And again, you can read parts 1 and 2 of volume number 1 on J Novel Club's website. Next up, we've got Finding Avalon, the Quest of a Chaosbringer. This is by Akito Narusawa with illustrations by Keiji. 3 volumes in Japan. It's currently an ongoing series. When a hardcore gamer downloads an update that transports him into his favorite game, Dungeon Explorer Chronicles, he expects a life of pretty girls and epic fights. He starts as a student at Adventurers High, the top school for budding adventurers eager to dive into the fantastical dungeon that's appeared in modern-day Japan. But one glance in the mirror shatters his dreams of badassery. He's entered the game as Piggy, the love-to-hate overweight villain whose stalker-like obsession with his reluctant fiancée spells his doom. With elitist bullies roaming the school halls and cutthroat adventurers lurking in the dungeon, our hero has to act fast to lose weight and level up if he wants to survive and break free from his scripted fate. Using his peerless knowledge of the game, he's ready to exploit every trick to become the world's greatest unsung hero. This one is launching today with parts 1 and 2 of volume number 1. Next up from J Novel Club, I Could Never Be a Succubus. This one's written by Nora Kohigashi with illustrations by Wasabi. There's 6 volumes going in Japan, and it is still ongoing. Liz, a young noblewoman, is a star pupil at her academy. Talented, refined, generous, and the apple of everyone's eye. But the day a legendary hero comes to the academy to convalesce, Liz, in spite of herself, does the unthinkable. She asks for the hero's underpants. Liz, as it turns out, has a secret. She was a member of the hero's party until all her memories were stolen during a climactic battle, including the fact that she's a demon of desire known as a succubus. She can hardly believe it when she reawakens to her completely out-of-character powers, but unfortunately for Liz, she's about to find out that it's not so easy to defy your true nature. This one's launching today with parts 1 and 2 of volume number 1, and I'm guessing that if you're into Eshi, this is probably going to scratch that itch for you. Next up, we've got Butareba, The Story of a Man Turned into a Pig. This one is by Takuma Sakai with illustrations by Asagi Tosaka. There's 7 volumes in Japan. It's still ongoing. This is the one that's like Cook the Pig Liver, I think is the actual translation from the Japanese title. I was honestly kind of disappointed when I saw this thing that they've called it this time. Like, why? I get maybe that Butareba is maybe like the Japanese condensed version, like Konosuba, Danmachi, that kind of stuff. But why would you not have just called the subtitle the actual, like, English title that pretty much anybody who knows about this series knows it by that title? Anyway, who am I? Just some dude on YouTube. Anyway, this one. A run-of-the-mill otaku collapses from stomach pain after tasting raw pig liver and wakes up in a whole new world. As a pig, of all things. He's helplessly trapped in his pen until Jess, a girl who can read minds, comes along and rescues him. Our porcine hero will have to work to keep his boorish thoughts to himself, but sweet Jess isn't deterred. In fact, she wants to spoil this little piggy rotten. By Jess's side, it seems like life as a hog might not be so bad after all. Yet there's more to this strange fantasy world than meets the eye. Jess is a girl of many secrets, and she's in danger. But what can a mere pig with no special powers do to protect her from her cruel fate? Will his modern knowledge, quick thinking, and sharp nose be enough to ham it up and save her? And once again, you can check out parts 1 and 2 on their website today. Next up, we have You Were Experienced, I Was Not, Our Dating Story. This one's by Makiko Nagaoka with illustrations by Magako. There's 7 volumes in Japan. I think it's still ongoing. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I tried to look at like comments left by reviewers on the 7th volume and stuff, but nobody seemed to be saying it was the last one. Kashima Ryuto is a gloomy high schooler who quietly spends his days watching his crush, the beautiful Shirakawa Runa, from afar. She rules the school and has had no shortage of boyfriends. Although Ryuta is fully convinced she'd never accept him, fate leads him to confess his feelings to her anyway. To his astonishment, she accepts, simply because she's available at the moment. But the surprises don't end there. She immediately invites him over as if it's the most natural thing in the world. This odd couple is different in just about every way. The friends they keep, their hobbies, their love lives. But with every passing day, they grow a little bit closer. This may not be Runa's first relationship, but their dating story is going to be full of firsts for both of them. And again, you can check out parts 1 and 2 over on J Novel Club's website. So for the last light novel that J Novel Club announced, it's kind of interesting that this one's coming out now, because it showed up quite often when I covered the top 10 best-selling light novels in Japan like a couple years ago. And at that time, there were very few light novels that featured middle-aged men. Particularly being middle-aged men. Like, I mean, we could argue that there's middle-aged men, but they're almost always reincarnated and show up as like teenagers in the book. So this one is The Diary of a Middle-Aged Sage's Carefree Life in Another World. This one is by Kotobuki Yasukio with illustrations by John D. There's 18 volumes in Japan and it's still ongoing. And in fact, there's just been a spin-off series started to this one. You might have seen me mention it in one of my recent best-selling light novels in Japan videos. 40-year-old Satoshi Osako is a farmer in the Japanese countryside and a hardcore player of Swords and Sorceries, an online VRRPG. The day he finally manages to defeat the game's final boss, it curses him with its dying breath and kills him in real life. With a little help from a carefree goddess, Satoshi finds himself reincarnated into a mysterious new world as his in-game character, the incredibly powerful Great Sage known as Zelos Merlin. He accordingly decides to use his newfound powers to continue living a quiet life on another farm. But first, he'll have to fight his way out of the vast, dangerous forest he woke up in. Thanks a lot, goddess. And it won't be long before he's running into bandits, getting roped into teaching a young noble girl magic, and much more. Will the almighty great sage be able to conquer the toughest quest of all? Getting some peace and quiet? And this one, you can check out the first 2 parts over on JNovel Club's website today. Next up are the 8 manga titles that JNovel Club licensed, and honestly, all of these are manga adaptations of light novel titles, and aside from, I believe, one of them, JNovel Club already has all of the light novels, so continuing their typical pattern of picking up the manga after the fact. So first off, they picked up D Genesis 3 years after the dungeons appeared. This one's got 4 volumes available currently in Japan. That's 4 manga volumes. The light novel is licensed by JNovel Club. 3 years after monster-infested dungeons start appearing on Earth due to an American experiment gone awry. Oh, those Americans, I tell ya. Anonymous researcher Keigo Yoshimura strikes gold when he accidentally kills a creature. This earns him a magical D card and a mysterious skill that allows him to see RPG-style stats. Deciding to quit his job and go into dungeon diving, Keigo seeks the assistance of his highly knowledgeable colleague, Azusa Miyoshi, to help him conquer the dungeon exploration market and make millions. But it's a race to obtain all the treasure and magic he can before the masses of government agencies and like-minded explorers take it first. No one said getting rich would be easy. This one, you can check it out. They're launching chapter 1 of the first volume over on their website today. Next up, they licensed The Oblivious Saint Can't Contain Her Power. Disgraced no longer. I'm finding happiness with the prince. There's 3 volumes of this one in Japan. The light novel's complete at 4 volumes. Now, this title sounds familiar, but I could not find it being licensed. So I don't know, maybe I just couldn't find it, or maybe it's been licensed under a different title in English. I'm not too sure. Feel free to put it in the comments if you know. Lady Carolina Sanchez has spent her entire life believing she is the Sanchez family disgrace, a notion constantly reinforced by her elder sister Flora. In public, Flora is a model of kindness and gentility, always coming to her baby sister's defense. But behind closed doors, she heaps abuse on Carolina, leveraging her younger sister's perceived shortcomings to suit her own ends. When Carolina is sent to the neighboring Malcosian Empire for a political marriage to Prince Edward Ruby Martinez, she expects to disappoint her new family too. But, to her surprise, her husband-to-be and her new in-laws seem to genuinely adore her. Can Carolina escape the anguish of her past and rise to the occasion as Edward's imperial consort? She just might, especially if she's not quite as powerless as she assumed. This is a JNovel Heart title, and you can check out chapter 1 of the first volume on their website today. Next up, we have The Retired Demon of the Maxed Out Village. There's 3 volumes of the manga. JNovel just announced, actually, that they had licensed the light novel at Anime Expo. On the advice of a suspicious bard, Albrea, the kingdom's strongest knight, sets off to the remote village of Mont to slay an evil demon. However, when she arrives, Albrea finds out the demon is just a retired old man, and he's far from the only strange inhabitant. There's also a demonic sword taking the form of a young girl, a money-hungry witch, and a drunken priest. As it turns out, the village has another, lesser-known name, the Maxed Out Village, and is home to many of the kingdom's greatest heroes. With help from those she came to fight, can Albrea learn what it truly means to be a knight, And what was the bard's real reason for sending her to Mont in the first place? You can check this one out, Chapter 1 of Volume 1 today. Next up we have 8th Loop for the win. With 7 lives worth of XP and the 3rd Princess's Appraisal skill, my Behemoth and I are unstoppable. This one has 5 volumes in Japan, and J-Novel Club has the light novel licensed. This is a story about Ramil, an adventurer who died. Specifically, he's died a lot. 7 times now, always at the hands of vicious monsters. Every time, though, he's returned to the same day 3 years prior. He's tried everything at this point, from sword fighting to magical arts to beast taming, but it always ends the same way. Is there any hope for him in this 8th loop of his life? Perhaps a chance encounter with Princess Ciel might change things? Her magical eye can see all possible futures, and with Ramil's vast stores of XP from 7 lives of adventuring, just about anything is possible. Add in the fact that his erstwhile feline friend Katra isn't exactly what she seems, and how the princess herself wants to party up with him, and this 8th loop might just be the charm. You can check out Chapter 1 of Volume 1 over on their website right now. Next up we have I Want to Escape from Princess Lessons. There's 4 volumes of the manga in Japan, and again J-Novel Club has licensed the light novel for this one. Letitia Dorman, daughter of a duke, has been engaged to the Crown Prince Clark since age 7. Though once a spirited child, she's undergone 10 years of strict lessons to teach her manners fit for the future queen. Distraught by the loss of her freedom, Letitia clings to her hope that the prince might someday take an interest in another woman. And when he shows up to a royal ball with an unknown lady at his side, she's elated to see her engagement broken off. Finally, her dream has come true. Letty wastes no time at all in retreating to the countryside for a new, peaceful life. But her joy is cut short when the prince appears and informs her that she is still, in fact, his fiancée. Prince Clark is determined to win her heart and marry her. Letty is determined to resist him and escape. The universe is determined to not be of any help whatsoever. This one you can check out Chapter 1 of Volume 1 over on their website today. Next up, they licensed The Invincible Little Lady. There's 10 volumes of the manga in Japan, and of course J-Novel Club is releasing the light novel. On her deathbed, a sickly young girl wishes to be reborn with a strong body that will never succumb to anyone or anything. Lo and behold, her wish is granted. Upon reincarnating into another world as Mary Regalia, she discovers her new body has maxed out attributes, from physical strength to defense and even magic. But wait, that isn't what she really wanted. All she longed for was a normal life. But that's a tall order when you're absolutely invincible. Join Mary as she navigates her new life as a duke's daughter, makes friends of all stripes, including her devoted maid, an irreverent trainee knight, a proud magician girl, and even the prince of the kingdom, fights off terrifying monsters, and maybe even gets mistaken for a knight of legend. You can check out the first chapter of this one over on J-Novel Club's website. Next up, we have Forget Being the Villainous, I Want to Be an Adventurer. This one's got 4 volumes of the manga in Japan, and J-Novel Club is releasing the light novel. When young Serafione has a fateful encounter with Lou, the cute and fluffy guardian tiger, it opens the floodgates to a torrent of memories. She realizes she had a past life as an office worker in which she loved to read fantasy books, including one featuring the infamous villainess Serafione Granzius. After using her immense magical power in battle, the novel's Serafione was defeated and condemned to die alone. The surest way to escape that fate is avoiding magic school altogether. So Serafione vows to hide her power and become an adventurer instead. But what will she do when major characters from the book threaten her plans? And this as well, you can check out the first chapter over on J-Novel Club's website. Finally, J-Novel Club also licensed the manga of The Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows, which I already talked about just a few minutes ago because they just licensed the light novel in this same event. The manga has 3 volumes currently available in Japan. So that is everything, all 17 titles that J-Novel Club licensed and announced today in their stream. What do you think? Is there anything here that's actually worth reading? I mean, of all of these, I'm probably still a little interested in the Diary of a Middle-Aged Man. I kind of know where it's probably going to go, but it would be kind of cool to actually see like a light novel with a true, honest-to-God, middle-aged dude just doing his thing. And also, I just want to call it Heat the Pig Liver, or Cook the Pig Liver. I think it's Heat the Pig Liver is but it sounds kind of cute, honestly, and it looks kind of cute. And some of these light novels that have main characters reincarnated as animals have actually been like part ways decent. I don't know, but I'm a little bummed out about the title. But whatever, I mean, it is what it is. In any case, those are all of the licenses that J-Novel Club announced. Let me know your thoughts in those comments down below. Thanks for checking out this video. Don't forget to give it a big old thumbs up because it helps me out, it helps the channel out, and I really do appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in another video. Till then, bye-bye for now.